Next, we have Dr. Michelle Perugini, CEO and co-founder at Precigen. Dr. Michelle Perugini is a health tech entrepreneur with extensive experience in healthcare and advanced AI technologies. Michelle is an avid supporter of the AI and women's health sectors globally and winner of the 2021 Women in AI Healthcare Award. She has a PhD in medicine and was a postdoctoral student research fellow in oncology for a decade. She has founded 2 global AI tech companies, the first of which was acquired by EY in 2015. Michelle is currently co-founder and CEO of Precigen, an AI healthcare company building the social network for healthcare with a focus in women's health. The first product, Life Whisperer, uses AI for embryo selection to improve pregnancy outcomes in IVF and is being used in IVF clinics globally.
Thanks so much, Lena. Hopefully my slides are visible here. Thank you to everyone for their wonderful talk so far, and thanks to the FemTech analytics team for allowing me to speak today. I'm going to continue the trend of the data revolution that Terry so eloquently introduced. And what I want to talk about today is women's health and why it's so different and why it's not niche, and how AI and technology really has a very important role to play in improving women's health outcomes at global scale. If you did a Google search for is AI misogynistic or is AI racist, you'll find a range of really interesting reading material. AI has caused quite a stir and a massive disappointment, and this is because the hyped power of AI has not really been realised. The promise was really to be able to achieve far better healthcare outcomes for people with greater precision and greater speed. But one of the big challenges in healthcare, and even more profoundly in women's health, is that the data that we're building the AI on is inherently biased. Many data sets have carried through historical biases, including the absence of women from clinical trials, which Terry alluded to, as well as lack of representation of minority groups and certain ethnicities in data sets. Now, when AI is built on these biased data sets from the past, it does not translate well to the needs of the many, nor does it scale to different clinics or different patient demographics. And the flow-on effect of this is that the AI generally is just not scalable. So to create AI that truly scales, it really needs to be built on globally diverse data sets and ones that represent different clinical settings and different patient demographics. And when you do that, that scalable AI can be used at low cost by thousands of clinics and billions of people around the world. And that's where the real power of the AI is. Aside from building equitable and unbiased AI, there's many reasons why women are a prime candidate for technology to really be able to help to level that playing field. And I think industry and investors, even regulators, actually are starting to catch on and realise why there's a significant opportunity and need within the women's health sector. Women's health is not niche, but it is very different, and there's much tailoring that needs to be done to meet the healthcare needs of women specifically. Women not only represent half of the world's population, but they're also digital divas. They adopt digital faster than men. They're the primary healthcare decision makers within their household. They do the majority of household healthcare spending. And one nuance in women's health is often not recognised, that women's health issues are highly interconnected and synergistic over a woman's lifetime. Their health issues are often related to biology and life stages, all the way from pregnancy through childbirth, paediatrics, menopause to aged care. And that's a huge collective opportunity to be able to improve healthcare outcomes at global scale. And in that way, technology that impacts across a woman's whole lifetime health journey, as well as those who she cares for, can have a massive impact globally. Our approach at Precigen is about building scalable AI, which billions of women can access. We have focused very specifically on data quality and data diversity as 2 of the key drivers that allow us to build scalable and unbiased AI. And to solve this problem around AI scalability, we're using a social network approach. So you might ask, what do social networks have to do with healthcare? Well, essentially, a social network is about connecting a decentralized user base to enable sharing. And then through the network effect, what that does is democratizes product creation from a massive network of contributors. So if you take YouTube, for example, the network effect really comes from many users connecting. They share video content, which in turn encourages more users to connect, create even more content, and so on. We at Prestigen are building the social network for healthcare. We've got an advanced data-centric AI platform that allows us to connect with clinics and patients globally to be able to access those high quality and connected data from clinics distributed all around the world to build scalable AI products that are tackling some of the most pressing healthcare challenges, particularly in women's health. And our first products, Life Whisperer, are really exciting. Uses AI to non-invasively assess images of IVF patient embryos. It has two capabilities. Just from a single embryo image, the AI can predict viability, which is the likelihood of that embryo leading to a clinical pregnancy during IVF. And secondly, genetics, which is non-invasively predicting the likelihood that an embryo will be genetically normal. The performance of Life Whisperer viability and genetics kind of delivers things that people are really excited about when they think about AI. Our clinical studies have shown that Life Whisperer can improve embryo selection. It can reduce the time to pregnancy for women going through IVF. This is a terribly emotional process for women, so anything that can reduce those cycle numbers is really significant. And the reason it can do this is because the AI is being able to see and analyze simultaneously tens of thousands of embryo images, and it's found features that relate to embryo quality, but that are too complex to see with the human eye. And the scalability of this product is also quite amazing. We've got IVF clinics, some really advanced IVF clinics in regions of the world like Europe and Canada and Asia using the products, all the way through to really remote clinics in Trinidad and Tobago and remote India. Takes us about 5 minutes to set up a new clinic, and it's really a truly scalable approach. And our Life Whisperer products are also highly affordable. This means that even the smallest clinics in the really remote parts of the world can offer this best-in-class technology to their patients using just very basic lab equipment and an internet connection. So I think the power of the AI in this case really allows us to bring that global intelligence into each and every lab and out to every patient around the world. So we are always expanding into new areas, both within fertility, but also more broadly in women's health. And as we build globally scalable healthcare services, we do that through this collaborative model, working with clinics and patients around the world. And we call it the social network for healthcare, which ultimately is about collaboration, about minimizing bias in the AI, about building scalable and equitable AI products for women's health and beyond. It's a really exciting time. Thank you so much, and I really look forward to some of the questions on the panel.
Thank you so much, Dr. Perugini. We do have one question for you. It's how do you position your venture in Semtech sector in regard to women empowerment, healthcare, or technology?
Oh, that's a really interesting question. I think it's all of those things. I think it's about using technology as a vehicle to improve women's health at scale. It's about including women in the data, making sure that there's diversity and that women are equally represented, and that there's products that are specifically built for those women's health needs, and intentionally so.
Thank you very much.